but it is also like a 6k gold difference. It's definitely not insurmountable. You do have like...
Oh, the stream's live.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Oh,
fantastic.
the
Oh, we are
audio.
looking back here. Excellent. Welcome back, everybody.
yeah, we got
Sorry
audio.
about the stream being offline. Basically, since the team fight where we were just describing what happened, basically Lin landed like huge 3 or 4 man ult. It just went downhill after that. Then they were able to take Dragon Soul, so they do have Ocean Soul. Do want to note that. But since then, nothing has really happened. What we just saw was that Team Dark Horse tried to go for a little bit of a Baron take, but the GP ult was enough to repel them. And now things have just kind of gone back to stagnant, and we are just waiting to see for the next thing.
Yeah, to put it in perspective, if you guys have ever seen or can imagine a curb stomp, it was like that, but worse. When Lin landed that Kiana ult.
Yeah, it was pretty disgusting. On the backside, Control did come in, was almost able to make a play happen and shut down Lin, but basically Lin lives on like 100 HP, something like that.
Yeah, Lin, and then he got snared in. Looking at this fight here, I don't know why we're looking at the Elder coin flip. This makes me sad simply because if red side gets lucky, this could be a dub. And
Yeah.
I'd love to see blue just stay as far away from this as humanly possible because they did all this setup to do all of this work to coin flip the Elder.
I agree that I think their siege is bad, so that maybe you can't just run it down. But Lin is going to land a big ultimate here as there's the solar flare coming through as well. Polar Bear is instantly dead, and so is Control. Worst is trying to kite on the backside, and so is Trannibal. Tranibal's just sent down barrels, doing almost nothing with them because he is too far behind, and now he's forced to flash himself. Worst tactics, NA is able to get back out, but they have 3 dead teammates. Lin is able to tower dive and connect onto the Jinx. It is looking horribly, horribly mismatched in this game, as they are just going to turn onto the Elder Dragon and secure that objective.
I would like to have seen them just walk mid and end here with 5 people to like Tranibal's 1, but taking the Elders, I mean, it's fine overall. Really, it's not bad. It's not a coin flip. They're taking the Eld, they make it into the Baron, they reset, they get their gold, they 4-1. Cool. I mean, that's also a decent.
Guarantees the game, if
yeah,
anything.
Yeah.
They're going to be able to take at least 1 inhib with the Elder buff, perhaps even pressure their Nexus turret with the grenades of the Elder buff, but I think the game's pretty locked up if they take this.
If they try to contest this Baron, the game ends.
Yeah, exactly.
They
Below
jump
there is
over.
going to be looking for some sort of steal, but this is absolutely over. Yeah, don't go for it. Now he might just
Flash.
himself as the Black Shield comes through, and it looks like the Kales as well. I don't know if I saw the correct effect there, but nonetheless, it is looking like... Oh, nope, I was not correct. Back.
So I don't think the back was absolutely awful, although I think with the Eldrake, they should have just stat checked them.
Yeah,
I think they were too close, they should have just walked up and bonked them.
I completely agree. I think they literally should have just taken it and been like, okay, we need to maximize the time of this Elder buff. But honestly, that's a problem we still see in LCS. I mean, you look at some of the LCS games, they go for the same type of reset, even with Elder buff taking. I think it was EG versus Dignitas, I believe. Where we saw that was
Sivir ult from game. There's like a Sivir ult, and then, like it's over.
Exactly. And then you literally, I think they one-shot Trannibal. I unironically think they one-shot.
Yeah, I mean, Sivir just presses R here, and Sword just does what he's done all game.
He
doesn't have to
He's looking for the one-shot onto Tactics, but Tactics is able to get the trap. Shut down actually onto the Kiana. That might be game losing from Lin, as they're going to be able to get the reset, and they are running out of time on this Elder buff as Trannibal lands a nice double barrel on the T goes for and into it, but isn't able to quite get him into execute range. Pops the Hysterics, not quite enough damage.
I mean, Sivir had flash and ult there, like
yeah, this is not very well executed from Team Dark Horse.
Well, this isn't like you say it's game losing for Lin, but like Lin pulled 3 people top and with a Sivir engaged dive comp like this. That should have been GG right there. I'd be kind of frustrated if I was Lin right there.
Swordmaster goes for the Solar Flare, doesn't quite land it. Nice little dodge, Matthias while taking it down. Elder XC does go through, but there's the burn. Swordmaster flashing for it onto Control with the Ignite. Is he going to get him into execute range? Perhaps, yes! Executes Control, gets pull out the Zonius, doesn't have the ult because he used it onto the Kiana, and that might just be
I guess they can push bot. They lost out on Eld here, but I mean, overall it's not bad. You know, they at least killed 1 person with the Eld, at the very least, and I think this siege isn't terrible.
I'm with you though. They definitely could have gone on GP and just by themselves while they're on the top side. It doesn't make any sense that they didn't go for it and basically just let them clear the wave. and they don't get the inhibitor until Thor basically makes one-handed makes use of the rest of the Elder buff. You know, your single-handed makes use of the Elder buff by himself as it ends.
Okay, they're pushing in the inhib here. There's 5 of them. I think this is, yeah, this still looks like game for
Yeah,
Lynn's team. You
it's
know,
definitely
there's
still a game, but a
interrupt.
little sloppy.
Sure.
Oh, as they go for the ultimate, the back shield is late coming through. Jinx is hitting 100% one shot. And there's the Kiana ult landing on two, but Lilgare imbues it with his unstoppable ultimate. Tranimal's on the backside trying to do damage, but he cannot do enough damage to save this game. Volibear is there to help, but he is a minion at this point. There's the early W for Tranimal. Stair's getting popped. Meanwhile, he is by himself, limp mountain diving. They're not going to be able to do this because they haven't made a way to secure this. Spear's still very, very late to use the ultimate, and Tranimal's going to get one shot from the Sivir plus the Dark Harvest with proccing from T, and that is going to be performance win, so I cannot wait for game 3. So, Bench, what was kind of your take from that game from start to finish?
I think, I mean, they played it well. Like their win con was going to be Drake, right? Because they have Keanu to play around objectives well, and I mean they did it. It was just very nice overall. Like I think that it got a little sloppy towards the end there, but at the end, I don't want to say it didn't matter, but I mean it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
So,
So we were very harsh on Team Dark Horse's team comp at the start. What was kind of the difference? Do you think the team comp perhaps wasn't as bad as we had initially laid it out to be? Do you think Team Dark Horses was much more proactive and able to make plays, or do you think that they were able to kind of come together and play as a team?
I think that the team comp was whack. I'm gonna keep it a buck here. I think that team comp was definitely a struggle.
Sure.
I'm glad that it was less of a struggle than we thought, and they could surmount it. But it there was a healthy dose of uphill battle for Blue Side. I'm glad they pulled through. I'm so excited to see a third game. But
Mhm.
no, that comp was definitely very rough.
For sure, yeah. So maybe moving into the next game, how, given the fact that we still think that maybe it wasn't the best team comp, how does Team Jungle Control come back and actually punish them next game?
I think they probably stopped ganking Tranimal.
Stop ganking for top lane.
Yeah, I mean the thing is like
Sure.
one of the reasons why I think Gangplank is so strong with Tranimal is because Tranimal generally needs help top lane in order to snowball him. Those are the type of champions that he plays, right?
Okay.
For Gangplank, you don't have to do any of that. You just sit there, you let him scale, you check in with top lane every so often, you say, "Hey, how are you doing?" He's like, eating
Yeah,
oranges,
still a
dodging
pirate.
ganks. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
ulting across the map for agency. So he doesn't have to do anything for anybody else. Just scale, right? He gets to play weak side and he gets to play it well, and then around 24, 25 minutes, you've got a top laner that's just kicking ass and taking names,
Exactly.
right?
And we
And
did see those early ganks really kind of backfire. All that pressure that Teague was putting toward bot, Lil Garrett was trying to mirror at top, but Teague was just having so much more success against the
yeah, well, I mean, the issue is just Little Garrett is like one of 2 targets on the team that Mordekaiser can actually ult.
Yeah,
And, he walked top and got ulted, and it's unfortunate.
exactly. Yeah, and that was quite a dominating win from Team Dark Horses. But then keep in mind that's just their first of the series, so it's even at 1-1. We're going to go to the game 3. Sound those silver scrapes because it's going to be another very exciting one. We'll see you after the break. All right. Okay, what's up? right, welcome back, everybody. We have a game 3 on our hands between Team Dark Horses and Team Jungle Control. I'm AI Box, joined once again. This time we have a consistent co-caster. We got Mr. 12-inch again, 12-inch. What a crazy series so far.
Yeah, yeah, most certainly. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect this to see a game three after I watched that last draft, but I am now excited to see it.
Yeah. And do you think that these teams will be adjusting at all in draft, or do you think these teams will be more adjusting?
I don't want to say Control's team had a perfect draft, but it was pretty damn close. That was about the draft. Like if I were like storyboarding it out exactly how I'd want the draft to go and what I'd want to end up with, that's about as close as I would humanly get. So I think I mean they can try and adjust in game play. At this point, it comes down to player fatigue and what their mentals are looking like.
Absolutely, and we saw that a lot in the last season. Obviously, the Grand Finals was a best of 7, and a lot of the other series were best of 3. So certainly, a lot of the TCL players have some experience with this, but we're still amateurs. You know, we're not pro players. We're not conditioned within this environment to take it all the full distance sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Last game there certainly was a lot of taking it, so I'm sure they're good for another one.
Are you certain?
Yeah, I think so as well. And so far in draft, we have seen zero adjustment, the exact same bands that we've seen from the first 2 games, and it looks like both teams are pretty happy with how at least that part went.
I I strongly disagree with giving Trenwell the GP. I think that it did not backfire on them that game, but if Garrett doesn't play around top, they make Trenwell
I
weak side.
recommend skipping.
I think it really is dangerous. I think they're playing with fire here, and just because they didn't get burned one time doesn't mean it's not gonna burn in the next.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, maybe we see a a different pick from the Volibear. Maybe they really are prioritizing this Volibear just for comfort for little Garrett. But if they go in another direction, I could see, maybe a jungler that ganks bot really well. Um, maybe that's the ticket for them. As the Echo first pick this time around, not picking Droid's champ for the first time in the series.
I think this flex is great. Personally, it takes them away from the possibility of running triple AD topside. It allows
Mhm.
Kiana to be opened up, and as long as they're running some kind of AD mid, then Music can also play whatever he wants. Like it's a great flex. They play around good matchups, and I know Teague is comfortable on it. So I mean,
Oh, the
nice.
first pick Zaya. Interesting prio. I
You
I gotta say I just think Zaya's in a state where like she's a very safe, she's a very strong AD carry, or not very strong, but she's a very safe AD carry, and she has the ability to kind of fill any sort of role within a composition. But I just think as a first pick, it's just an interesting one. But maybe if they want to get their bot lane onto a very safe AD carry and they just want to make sure they pick the really, maybe it does make sense.
So from what I understand here, I don't actually think Zil can ult Zay while she's in. So I thought this was going to be a Zyra Khan or a Zaya Thresh comp, and then it
No,
was Zaya
yeah.
Zillion. And I know Matt's been practicing it,
Hmm.
but I don't see the synergy personally. I don't think it's impossible. I think that this is going to be. I think there's going to be a big ask for the first two picks coming out here.
Yeah, particularly blind picking it into whatever droid and sword want to bring themselves. As there's the Mordekaiser and the Leona. Basically, they're just going to run back last team control. They take that Kiana for himself.
Great.
Nope.
Oh, the
Takes
Zig,
the
the Zig.
Ziggs. Oh boy, that is going to be scary to deal with, particularly when you want to run at them, right? Especially something like Leona, Mordekaiser, Echo. There's going to be a lot of running through Ziggs things.
Well, if they give Tranimal the Gangplank here, they're looking at a Gangplank Zig Zillion Wombo, and if they run Garrett on J4, this is going to be really, really nasty. This comp,
Exactly.
the bot lane's a little dicey. I don't know about Zaya. Zillion's not bad. The J4 is going to be nasty. The Zig's going to be nasty. They should ban Gangplank and they should ban J4.
I completely agree. Little Garrett definitely playing a lot of the J4 in previous matchups. As the Cassident and the Silas you're going to get out of there. And I'm seeing in the chat, Bird himself here to join us, seeing his babies, Zillion and Ziggs. You got some interesting fetishes there, friend, but nonetheless looking very excited for this team composition, which is really, really fun.
I
Um,
don't. Are these BM bans or like
not
what?
sure. Yeah,
Because
because
like
I,
this
I mean,
is
Control has played the Nocturne, but this is clearly going to be a Control champ, and I'm not sure Little Garrett or Tranimal are going to pick up that champion.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
well,
there's
he
the
has
Jarvan. You
Jarvan.
totally called it. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is very concerning because like Lynn's team got outdrafted last time, but like this is crazy. Like
Yeah.
this is an impossible team. Control's team can play
You have
this.
to punish this. Yeah.
There could be like bronze skill level versus silver skill level here, and the bronze skill level would still win. You know, I'm not even saying like that's the skill level. I'm
I
just
just
saying
love
like
that you picked those two exact divisions. You know, like you didn't say gold or plat. You didn't say plat or diamond. You said bronze and silver to describe this.
yeah, I'm just saying, you know, the skill gap matters significantly less here.
Fair enough. You know, I wonder how they're going to run it back. They're literally going to run the exact same composition back. They said, "Hey, look at us casters. You are big dum dums. We're going to run the exact same composition."
No,
Oh, the Tryndamere for
why?
Tranimal.
Why? I don't
Oh,
understand. Oh, the comp was so easy.
this
They
game
just gave
is
it
so
to them.
nuts. This game is so nuts. This is so great. I'm so excited to see what happens. Oh,
I I don't think Trano gets to play the game. I'm gonna keep it a buck here. I think
this is
Kiana,
insane.
Leo, and Echo stop. Tryndamere is going to have 5 seconds of invulnerability, and then it'll
Oh
be
my
five
god.
seconds of complete crowd control.
Getting CC'd, yeah. I mean, what's he going to CC? What's he going to do during that period? He's going to get Leona stunned. He's going to get not yeah. He's going to Kiana ulted. He's going to get Echo stunned. I mean, his ability to gap close is severely hamstrung this game.
Well, he has to play into Sivir ult. If he okay,
Yeah.
look,
On top of that, all.
continue.
Yeah. Sorry, no. I know. I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah, well, okay. So the way I see this, this could go well if Tryndamere. So Tryndamere actually has to get help here. Okay, so Ziggs walks up in lane, like just up a smidge to the dot brush, fires an ulti alongside a J4 gank. So when they 2v2, because Teague is going to match Garrett. I think Teague is the better jungler here. So when Garrett goes for top, Teague is going to match him. But in order to counteract that, Control's going to throw an ulti top. Kiana's not going to be able to match because he's pushing in all the time.
Mhm.
And that's how they have to do it. They have to focus on Teague as soon as he comes in, and hope to God music doesn't just ult Garrett in mollywop him.
Yeah, and this mid jungle 2v2 is going to be extremely important. We've been talking a lot about top lane, but you have to make sure that that control gets to play this game. Six versus this Kiana. That's an incredibly dangerous lane, and that's a lot of kill power when you're talking Kiana plus Echo. You can chain your stuns, you can chain your damage, and Ziggs can just be a goner.
I think it would take a lot. I think Satchel Charge is a really strong ability. And I think, you know, Kiana goes into stealth. He drops the little minefield on her. And then, you know, I think Ziggs is so safe here. I think Control's very comfortable on Ziggs. And I think those Zig buffs are disgusting. As a team that has
I
actually played
agree
into
as
this,
well. Yeah, no, I agree as well. I'm just worried that Teague's going to end up spending a lot of his time there, you know, and there is a situation where if he's able to return ganks, blow flashes early, blows TP early, you know, it could get very dicey.
I could see that. Yeah. I think that Control's bot lane is definitely the weak point here that Teague needs to push. You know,
Yeah, sure.
because they don't even have like with Morg.
Ah, yeah. I mean, Sivir ult into Leona Echo, that's very difficult. If you're even if just pushed up halfway into the lane, it might be very difficult situation. They do have a lot of safety, just given Zaya ult, given Zillion ult. They do have a lot of safety. Maybe Matthias is able to speed himself out and then ultimate onto Zaya, so Zaya's able to, you know, be able to run away, get some distance. But you're still talking that's a very scary situation. Those are some pretty long ultimates early.
Yeah, I mean they're going to have to like during the runaway transition, they're going to have to chunk Leona to the point where she can't just stand on them and wait for them to
Yeah.
either come back to life, or come out ult or something. Like it's
I mean, it's so tough to do that though. Like through bone plating, through Leona W, through potentially getting poked down themselves by this Sivir.
I man, I'm so confused because I feel like Control's team had the draft, like the
Mhm.
nuts. It was just there. But like they don't have Gangplank anymore, so Gangplank ultis can't stop the Leo engage bot. Like this is it
Well,
was like
my
the
confusion is more like how does Zillion fit into what you're doing? Is more what I'm thinking. Like what is the intention of this Zillion pick? I get it, you picked it first. But usually, if you're going to go for this type of support pick, you have a clear idea for how it fits into your composition. That's
Well,
typically where we see a lot of draft flexibility with teams. Is like it's that support fills in whatever you need to be.
that's fair. The way I see it is that um, Zillion is going to speed up Jarvan for the engage. He's gonna ulti and he's gonna double bomb on the ult, right? And
Okay,
that's where the strength is gonna come in.
right. That makes a
Um,
lot of sense. So then we have to watch them try and like execute, right?
yeah, I just, man, I think this Tryndamere pick is very very difficult, but I would like to,
Would you
I'd like
call
to
it?
be proven wrong.
So he has Ghost Flash too. So would you call this an ego pick for Channel?
I think the Tryndamere is an ego pick. I think the Ghost is a requirement. I think there is a planet where he mashes a TP from Mordekaiser and it goes well.
That
I
makes a
think
lot of sense. Yeah.
he makes Mordekaiser have to build like Bramble, Tabby, Seekers. He forces out these things, throws off his itemization, and if Mordekaiser leaves lane, he punishes it hard. Right? He
Yeah.
prays to God his team can live on their sheer mobility and safety alone, and hopes it works. I think
How,
Dink should go pre-5 though, or pre-6.
how does this like level 1 to 3 function top lane? Does he just build up rage and sustain for whatever Mordekaiser tries to do to him? Does he try and go for some early trades and then queue out? What does this lane kind of like dynamic?
He should probably go to his forward bush and cheese level 1, and just try to use Ghost as a crux. Because the thing is whoever runs away first dies.
Yeah.
Okay, so man, and music has to leash again.
Yeah.
They are
Interesting. They're actually both going to leash, so it's going to be mirrored starts this time. I think we've seen some pretty interesting jungle pathing so far this series, and a lot of that has hinged on that. As the early stun going on to Tactics, Tactics really far up in this lane as he's getting stunned up yet again, forced to burn the flash himself as Joy might be looking for this final on the Q and forcing the flash back out. Joy's getting a little bit low due to this bomb, but Swordmaster is still poking on Matthias. Wow, what an interesting early trade. I'm not sure why Tactics is so far up in the lane.
it was a cheese. They stood in the forward brush and they waited for them to walk by.
Interesting.
I think the trigger discipline on Droid is something to be noted there, because he could have flashed and killed Tactics, he could have healed and killed Tactics, but instead he let Tactics waste both of his sums, and now they're just going to push them under tower, and they're never going to be under kill threat. Is huge.
Absolutely,
huge
actually. Absolutely. Meanwhile, Lethal Tempo up here, both actually tier start onto the Sivir. Might have been able to actually get that kill if he had Dorn's Blade Star, but you never expect things like that to happen.
Sure.
So it's not really
Well, as soon as I say that, Sword actually ended up flashing forward there to try and get on Tactics and missed it.
yeah, that is an unfortunate start, but ultimately Tactics might be looking to try and stabilize. He does have Dorn's life still. Lane's going to be pushing in his favor, but he's going to be missing out a lot here.
Man, top looks really unfavorable right now for music.
Exactly. Took like one bad early trade, is actually down a pot and HP on Trim, so looking really, really rough. All this sustain coming from the Tryndamere Rage, looking pretty darn good for him early.
I think Lin's looking for something. I'm not sure why he picked up the stealth Q there, rather than keeping pressure up in his wave. Or if he's just looking to clear the line.
I think as a general rule on Kiana is that having grass form Q is never really a bad option, no matter what. Having that additional mobility, that additional obviously visibility, is never really the wrong thing. Garrett's going to get forced off of this scuttle. Meanwhile, top lane, he's just looking for a bit of a trade. They both just get pick press their heal buttons and they get healed back up. Tranimal burning his pot now is looking really good as he moves back.
Music's under a lot of pressure here, actually, because if Tranimal with some decent RNG and a Rage Bar can just solo him in wave, we're looking at the Ghost
I'm
here.
not sure what Garrett's looking for here. Perhaps waiting for Droid to walk forward as this wave starts to push into the tower. First blood! Meanwhile, randomly, both summoners burn Tranimal, and Music is able to secure the solo kill at 4 minutes into the game. And he has TP for this reset, but he's not going to use it. Oh my goodness.
Tranimal just went for a risky 50-50 solo in 2 waves. Two and a half waves, really.
No.
Picks up a cull, loses all the XP, and it's really looking like an ego pick now.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
Music did well.
Yeah,
Really.
I mean, that was why. I'm watching through it myself, like you said. he went for a trade level 3 inside 2 waves. I don't know what matchup could possibly win that. Even if you have the world's most favorable matchup, if you're taking a differential in minion damage that large, how do you win?
I mean, really, he gets a couple crits and it ends because he was building up the rage bar for it.
Oh, Lil Garrett just walks into the lane, lands the EQ onto Swordmaster, but Teague is here on the counter gank, lands the W. The flash doesn't take him far enough as Worstax is getting soloed up by Music and now getting rooted, and the exhaust is pretty late over onto Teague and his counter gank, and they might be looking for a dive themselves. Meanwhile, with Tactics down both summoners, then Legend flashing in, landing a nice combo onto Worst Tactics and gets the kill on the backside. And this is once again drag as Team Dark Horses are looking unstoppable.
That was such a cold ass Echo W.
Yeah, that was
one.
Yeah,
that was
Little
wild.
Garrett flashing kind of sort of at an angle, but not enough to get him out of it.
Yeah, I mean, this is. Wow, this is really rough. I mean, because Drake isn't even the win con for.
Oh,
for
as
Sword.
Swordmaster is now mid lane on the roam, misses the South card on himself. Just to disengage under the counter, and Sword takes a lot of damage in exchange. Control it, looking for something on the backside. Flashes out, and the Legend gets the solo kill! The solo bolo as Matthias comes in and swoops it from this roaming position support. Oh my goodness, Lynn the Legend. That was so much damage.
Getting gold on Lyn is good. If that kill had gone to Garrett, I think it would have been a lot less problematic. I think that they really can't pump any gold in this bot lane.
Yeah,
really, because
I
this
completely agree.
is the complete most weakest spot. Just the kill XP alone is a liability, personally.
Yeah. You really do not want that going on to Matthias. At least it's going to push him toward that level 6, perhaps be a little bit more helpful in this game than that. But walking into lane has that very charming Ruby Crystal. He is not in a spot to be able to be doing a whole lot of it. As Tranimal gets pulled back into the tower, Music is now ulting. They are both level 6, so Tranimal can potentially still run away. Pops the slow as Music X is facing, it doesn't do anything there. Now Tranimal forced to use his Undying Rage at that point, but he is getting, getting beaten up, and Music X just lets it go.
Yeah, I mean, Music already picked up the Tabby. I actually like it as a respect buy. If he really needs to get to nasty late game, sure. You know, this is Tranimal essentially disrespected Music, and Music respected Tranimal, and hey, humility is key, I guess. I like it.
Exactly, yeah. The early tabbies plated. Oh god, I can't remember the name of this item. Okay, plated steel caps. Thank you. Sorry, I've just been calling it tabby for my entire life. The plated steel caps coming over, really making the big difference in the trade, especially against. I don't know. Does Tryndamere auto attack? I'm not sure.
Once or twice per trade, occasionally.
Yeah. Meanwhile, mid lane, this CS difference building toward the Ziggs, but Lynn the Legend has just had so many openings to be able to support his jungler, support his bot lane, and look really good in this mid Kiana pick.
Wow, this bot lane is suffering. Like they had the word to tell Teague was there, but I mean, all they could do is play literally the exact same way they would have otherwise and ping him a bunch of times.
Yeah,
This is
Little Garrett. Yeah, and Little Garrett looking to try and help towards the spot side, but he is absolutely lit up on the board. There's no angle here as the dive from Lynn the Legend and Teague, trading a little bit of their health, but they are able to secure another kill onto Control. Teague and Lynn the Legend in 5 of 5 kills so far across the two of them.
So if they had gotten, if that last tower shot had hit Lynn rather than hit Echo, that would have been totally kosher for Ziggs. But now Ziggs is in a tough spot. I mean, he's staring down mid at the abyss. You know, this is a really depressing situation.
And I think we need to be having a conversation of if we think Teague and Lynn the Legend are the best mid jungle duo in TCL. You talk about across all of them, they have looked absolutely dominant. They have had insane early games through almost every single game, and are really the big playmakers on their team. They really make this happen. As there's the Leona ult, Solar Flare coming through the Dyson upon Wells, going for a little bit of a double bomb. Actually misses both of them, doesn't even hit on the spell, so there's the exhaust. Swordmaster, meanwhile, by himself is zoning the entire lane, plus the minions, and he's going for a re-engage. Not quite able to land the Zenith Blade But this is a big wave for Tactics.
I mean, that Zenith blade was great. Like, if he landed that it's one of those situations where like you throw in a skill shot like as you leave just to like
Exactly.
might as well, and like you take it, you're under tower, you're definitely toast. So
Yeah,
it's
I
very
feel like
good
you
that
see
he
that
does
with Silas like all the time. He's like
Silas,
he
Nautilus.
dashes with the E, and he's like, might as well throw my E2 out there and just see what happens. And then he does.
Yep.
There's the 3-man roam. Excuse me, there's the 2-man roam up top. But Teague is reading Little Garrett like a book. He's also in this top side. Might be looking for another gank toward the middle lane as Kiana is roaming out of the river with this root. Wow.
I don't know about this Herald. I think we just push in bot and we drop bot.
I think so as well.
It's money for lit, so cool. You give a kill to your mid laner or like half a kill, sure.
I'm with you as well. I think it gives you so much map pressure, especially since they've already taken the plate. You just 4-man down there, drop the Herald, and then you rotate towards the Dragon.
True, but their bot full reset, so I guess no. Herald would be crazy here.
Yeah,
Herald
they
would
just
be absolutely
take this tower. I think that's absolutely should have been the play. And then because then they're already on the position for the Dragon. So looks like they're going to be able to get mid plates and then take the Dragon on top of that, but still, I'm with you.
Yeah, Drag 2 is massive here. I mean, look, this isn't going. If this is Cloud Drake, who cares? If this is Mountain Drake, pack it up. Oh my God, it's Mountain Drake. That is an unlucky pull.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. That being said, imagine. Okay, so like I'm gonna paint a picture. So you drop your bot instead of middle. Take bot tower, take drag, rotate bot to the top side for this next for the retail that comes up. Is that not what makes sense there? Or?
I wouldn't even play for the second Herald, honestly. If you get it, it's cool, but like I think dropping it bot, Drake, push mid, I think that's
sure.
Right on its own. But yeah, I mean they definitely most certain expeditiously should have dropped that bot. That's rough.
Yeah, all of this pressure. That said, Ziggs does have great wave clear at the moment. Is able to get some of his items going. Meanwhile, Matthias is walking into some dangerous territory. Swordmaster walking forward, has the skin buff on him, and he's forced to E back out. But the Zenith Blade still lands. There's the bomb coming through. Matthias Monreal's burning the ult on himself. He is getting dangerously low, but Little Garrett's on the EQ. Misses it on both people, but he does have everybody locked up inside the ecosystem. Down T forced the ultimate back out, but Worst Tactics actually misses the root, and he actually gets stunned up by the Kiana ultimate. Flash out. There's Trinwell joining the enemy team now. Gets exhausted, but Tactics and Garrett being low on the backside. They are by themselves inside the enemy team. Joy getting a kill. Now Trinwell ult is running out, and he's going to be inside the Mordekaiser ult, and he is going to be looking really rough on this Tryndamere, and he is going to be slowly auto mace slapped down by Music X from the TP.
So it looks bad. However, if Control didn't fire his ulti on the Drake, it would have been up for that Jarvan cage, and that fight would have been completely and wholly different. I thought Sword was going to die there when they went in. I thought that was an incredibly greedy dive, blowing every single cooldown on a guy who's going to come back to life. But then Matt didn't use Exhaust, he didn't use Flash, and Ziggs ult wasn't up, so take it as you get it, but...
Yeah, and crucially, when we saw that Cataclysm, we didn't see a double bomb either.
Yeah, certainly.
Oh, and there's the Swordmaster roam yet again, but Matthias Monreal is here to support. He lands the double bomb that time. Control might be looking good. He is able to sabotage over the wall. Nice job by Matthias Monreal's discipline on the exhaust, but is able to land the double bomb on the team.
This game's gonna go very far. I don't like, even Mountain Drake is atrocious for a Control's team to see Soul go down on, but
ooh, Teague still has the ultimate. Oh, it doesn't have the ultimate actually. Instead, is forced to flash back out. Excuse me. Well, for the miscall there, Control flashing forward, forcing the flash out of Teague. Meanwhile, Little Legend has flashed himself. Not sure at what point that was used. I guess it was used to kill Worst Tactics and A down here in the bottom lane. He is just going harvesting souls.
yeah, I mean, Tranimal's suffering. Control is the team right now. That's it. Control's gonna make this game go to like 40 minutes, and they're gonna try and coin flip the Elves. I think
he's on the right champion for this. Drops
Yeah.
the W over onto the tower. The Sabotage might be able to get it into execute range. Not quite. Uses it too early. That might be actually kind of a crucial mistake. As Leona is here on a flank, and now so is Echo. Control might have just made the crucial mistake of this game, is going to sacrifice his life as Matthias Von Welt flashes back out and he's being stunned up, and Control is going to get harvested on the front side of this fight. They look for the tower take, don't get it because he drops the sound card too early and trade both of their lives.
This game may end faster than I had originally anticipated. That's after. Well, it actually gives you a little notification when you can take the tower. So that's.
I mean, proficient Ziggs, you'll definitely see them drop it early. Because I mean, it's just like a kind of a flex move. You drop it early, and you get that 0.2 of your second in your life. But Control opts to go for the flex move, drops it super early, doesn't actually take it at the right time.
Man, this second Herald too. I mean, they take this, they kind of bust open mid with it. They get the next Drake. I mean, they're looking to pressure Baron and Soul simultaneously. I mean, Lin's team is looking great here. Yeah, really, exactly. Like they're looking really, really good. Music absolutely mopped the floor with Tranimal. It's not even close. I mean,
this
like
Tryndamere pick is so something. That being said, it is a 6.5k gold food as Lin is on a big flank, but he is walking.
Yeah, that Herald's very late. Ziggs managed to stall out the entire thing, and they only lose one tower with 2 Heralds. This is actually great.
Not optimal Herald usage for Team Dark Horse.
Well, I mean, the bigger issue is that Tranimal essentially gets to free farm every time they group up like that, and you know it takes a few minutes of free farming for Tryndamere to come back into the game as a threat. So they do have to be careful.
Absolutely. And I think part of the concern though is that with the Ziggs, they're able to 4-man stall out pretty much anything. Right? Just as a champion, that's what Ziggs does. Meanwhile, Tranimal can be in sort of silent if he's able to get further ahead enough. But meanwhile, Musa has popping the ult onto Tranimal, but Tranimal has help. But wait, Tranimal just doesn't press R and dies inside the Mordekaiser ultimate. And I'm wondering if Musa is able to do this against Matthias Von Welt, and Roger is here to support. There is nobody from blue side here to help him. Matthias Von Welt is getting very, very low himself. There's the Jarvan combo. Control is looking into melee range, and there's the Catechism being dropped as raid boss Mordekaiser finally goes down. But meanwhile, across the map, you're seeing them lose objectives. Oh no. And there's the Prowler's Call through the mania going over onto Tactics. Just non-stop action. Finally pops and misses the ultimate onto Tactics, but the Ignite still is able to pick him up. And oh my god, things go from bad to worse for jungle Control.
I am like, wow, if that shutdown had gone on to Tranimal, different game. Went on Control, still good, right? We have to get Control gold. I think it's sad that Xayah died, it's sad that Trinity died, but getting a shutdown on Control is, everything else is cliff notes, really. Getting the shutdown on Control is really, really large here. That's the only person they need to get gold on in order for this game to function up until 40 minutes, up until the drag coin flip.
And Tactics in this game is just feeling awfully helpless. It feels like he can't do anything. Perhaps in that game he maybe drops his feathers, is able to get a root onto Kiana, but nonetheless is just pretty helpless against. And like you said, Tranimal not even popping his ultimate in that previous game, and is really, really in need of this gold.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, you know, it's ego. Like I can wait a couple extra seconds.
Exactly.
You know, music can't kill me. You know,
it's 100% ego.
Play safely.
Finally able to secure his first item at 18 minutes. Meanwhile, Xayah not even to that point. Whereas on the other side of the map, we're seeing 2 item spikes come through from Sivir, and almost coming from the Echo, and this Leona with the full locket built up. My goodness, it's looking quite rough for Team Jungle Control. Hello, Mr. Sullivan, you there?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes, I'm just thinking. It's
gotcha.
kind of it's kind of stunning for me looking at this, because they definitely did not look like this game 1, and generally a bad game 1 will throw a team completely off, and as a complete Yeah, it is a complete flip. You know, these guys have just found their groove.
Oh, and there's the Mordekaiser ult. Waits for Tranimal to Q back out, and he is doing so much damage. Tranimal can definitely not take this fight. As the rest of Jungle Control collapses on him, and he doesn't even press R because he is just dead.
I mean,
oh my goodness, what is happening?
No ults. His sums are still up.
What is happening?
I think this is mental boom. I think this is, although Tranimal's team has a decent comp. You know, if Tranimal goes GP here and has okay mental, I mean, they do well. But there's no way these guys are playing at 100% right now, and that's that's the issue. Can they go?
I don't want to harp on this or be too negative, but I honestly don't know what is happening in the top lane. Jungle Control meanwhile Tactics is just getting absolute treatment from the enemy team. Still has the ultimate, is able to get out of TCC with great once, but Swordmaster is so tanky that he just walks out of that turret taking a fifth of his HP.
Yeah. Well, Control's looking to stall out this game a little more, right? If they can pull them off the Baron, they're looking all right. And I still think Control's team can coin flip the L. Like, it's as bad as it looks right now. Like, you know, Kraken Slayer on Tranimal here is essentially infinite scaling on Trinity. And we're looking at a game, I don't want to say that can't end, but they have so much dive, but they're still into Ziggs.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the curse of Ziggs in League of Legends, right? He stalls out any sort of game. Are you a Dota player, 12-inch? Just out of curiosity.
Nope, just RTS and League of Legends.
Gotcha. Oh my goodness, finally! Wow, what just happened bot lane? Meanwhile, Tranimal solo kills Music X under the turret, just burns the Ghost of Music X's splash. That's what we need to be seeing. Meanwhile, on the Baron, Team Dark Horse in a 4v5 had decided to go onto the Baron. Look for the turn over on Matthias, misses the solar flare. Meanwhile, the big Kiana ultimate, and he's going to kill everybody! What has just happened? Lil Garrett on the backside looks for the EQ, doesn't quite land it. Finally goes for the ultimate Cataclysm, but just suicides for the triple kill onto Kiana from the heal from George, plus the locket saves him. Oh no!
I think that if Tranimal takes the Drake here, red side, I think, okay, Ziggs doesn't ulti. He ultis Lin when J4 is in the pin, huge shutdown, and then Tranimal takes the Drake, and I think the game is winning at that point for red side. I think it's such a ridiculous swing that it's winning. I think that Tranimal scaling on Trendy, I think we might actually be seeing it, and he's got a gold lead in the top lane. Like, he's 1-4, 1,000 gold up.
I mean, you're totally right. That said, Tranimal makes a huge play across the map, and the rest of his team gets just annihilated. So, you think about all the types of win cons that Team Dark Horse have with this composition now. Now that they've gotten this huge lead, how do they deal with this Kiana?
Well, it's I wouldn't say it's a huge lead, but it's everybody died but Ziggs. Ziggs is the only person that has to be alive. So as long as Ziggs lives these fights, they can't push him. And as long as Trinity can solo music, they can't split.
Yeah, my god though, Lin is absolutely smurfing on this Kiana. You look at the ultimate from the last game, or excuse me, from the last fight, just 100-0 to the bot lane.
True, and excellently played.
Yeah, you have to wonder, like, okay, does Tactics ever get to play this game? This poor 80 carry from Jungle Control, no kill participation, but that's not that bad considering his team only has 3 kills, has 1 item, and a longsword. Can't forget the longsword at 23 minutes. Like, when is this guy going to be able to play?
Well, I think Lin's team is going to realize pretty soon here that they're going to have to get L'd, and they're going to have to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at Control. And in order to do that, they're going to have to leave Worst Tactics alone. And Worst Tactics, we might see a route on Lin to end the game, or Lin might just blow up Ziggs, easy as pie, and then it's a wrap.
Exactly, yeah. Ziggs trying to prevent that, building the stopwatch. Team Dark Horse is yet again onto this Baron. Meanwhile, Teak forced the ult backwards to get out of that Ziggs ult. He's doing a lot of damage.
This Ziggs is a menace.
Plus the zillion bombs. Wow, double bombers from the side of Jungle Control, and he is so strong and able to deny yet another Brickman take. And meanwhile, Trinivere is just happily split pushing in the bottom lane. Now has that healing reduction built up for the Conqueror pop plus the Rift Maker. He's definitely not something to be tribal with. And now we're kind of seeing the game plan from Jungle Control start to come into picture.
Blue side needs to take every single camp that Red has.
Yeah, they have to Gold Star.
Yeah, the fact that there's 4 camps up, and it looks like all 4 of them are getting... I mean, what, they got the Raptors, but I mean, Tryndamere got the Grom, and then Tryndamere gets to go back 5. And it looks like they're going to try the Baron again. They have to bush cheese.
Yeah,
I don't think they can just take this Baron.
They have to play Vision. Little Garrett walking forward by himself, though, hasn't quite waited for his team. The rest of jungle, or excuse me, TDH is out of there with this Mountain Soul.
Little Garrett is definitely sacked up to walk into that tri-bush, not knowing where Leo is.
I completely agree. That's what I was thinking.
And then now they're trying to push in and control. God, you know, I have I have been in this exact place, and
this is so bad.
Yeah, I feel for their team. I think, I mean, they have about 4 or 5
Force Tactics NA doesn't get caught by the team play, but the Eclipse comes through, and yet again, a huge amount of overrun Matthias pops the ult on himself. Meanwhile, Control getting dove up by Teak and Droid, and finally Teak is able to ult back out. Matthias Von Well super, super low, but that's exactly what they needed, killing this Ziggs up, and they are finally able to crack the base with this huge gold lead and an 18-3 kill count. They take their first inhibitor.
They have to end the game here. I'm almost positive. Like, they either have to end the game here or immediately Baron. But Tryndamere splitting here, look, the inhib is down. It almost doesn't matter. I so sad to say it, but Tranimal just got a tower.
Oh, that's so sad.
They
this
can't
is
take the Baron.
Oh my god, Team Dark Horse, I feel for you. You are so far ahead, but you just cannot do it yet. Cannot end the game. Meanwhile, Tranimal is taking this 1v1 down here in the bot lane. He's pretty good. Might feel for a tower dive here. No, he's just going to get out. Finally pops the ult on time. He's going to look for this 1v1. Is Mordekaiser ulted inside of it? He is going to get soloed up by Muskax. That's not what your team needs.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's a little concerning. Because he had Flash and Ghost there and just ate every skill shot.
And he just died.
Yeah, I mean... I don't know. I don't know how to respond to that.
T might be looking for something here. The exhaust onto Little Garrett, getting stunned up by by Sword Master. Little Garrett is getting extremely low. The Zillion ult does protect him. Looks like it wasn't needed, but I understand the safety of Matthias there.
Yeah, I mean that ult needs to go down on Control every single time. Like not having that for this Baron contest it's a wrap on the Baron. I don't think it matters overall, but definitely Garrett is he's a non-factor. I'll be honest here. Like everything has to go in Control.
Yeah, and it certainly affects Control's ability to stall out games. We talked about all the additional magic resistance from the Baron, and not to mention the additional stats. And Ziggs going for a little bit of something. Nope, doesn't quite land it because Teak gets the smite. They are able to secure this Baron as the Elder Drake is coming up in short order.
So forces them to back and burns Lynn's ulti for this Elder Drake. This is maybe the first 5v5 I've seen this entire game where Control could actually win it outside of a siege.
Yeah.
But if they lose this Drake alongside Baron, Lynn's got flash, T's got flash, Muse's got flash. There are 5 flashes up.
Yeah.
And it's
especially
gonna be
around as Tranimal's getting jumped on by Lynn the Legend. He's getting pretty low and he's able to just die because his ultimate's not quite back up. It's like 1 millisecond. Meanwhile, Lil Garrett goes in to try and heal from him. He flashes back out and just gets double killed by Lynn. As the Elder Drake is now on the horizon for Team Dark Horse plus a blue buff just as a cherry on top. And Team Dark Horse with both Elder and Baron are going to be looking to make a push after this.
They're looking at a 5-man mid, they push 5 men, they walk with the super, and they end it. Okay? I think that's it. They use Sivir ult, which I believe is up.
Yeah, and they have accumulated enough advantages that maybe Ziggs can't stall out this game. Maybe finally this is the straw that broke the camel's back. They're able to break the base, they're able to get any sort of objective. Teak is going in, smite over onto Matthias, but he is getting slowed up, and that's the power of the Zillion slow. Plus the Shirelius, he's going to be able to run away himself. Droid now walking forward, has the Elder Burn, is going to be poking them out with his lethality. The Elder Burn makes this an absolute stack check game as Carol is pulling everyone away.
Well, he pulled the minions away. He's buying them actually pretty decent time. This is concerning because Garrett smites this.
Oh my goodness, look at that Sivir lethality damage though. Control is ticking down, he's going to be forced to run back out as this Solar Flare might just execute him. No, he's back on the fountain. And finally, they're taking these next turrets. Tranimal's on a big flank. Droid is forced to flash back out. Tranimal's in the middle of the entire enemy team. They're just going to end onto this Nexus. This Xayah just gets absolutely one-shot as the game ends because TDH decided to put Jungle Control out of their misery and take the series 2-1.
That was great. That was a great finish. I like it. They played for the Elder. That was certainly their win con. I think Tranimal underperformed, but I think Music also performed pretty well. So it's a great thing to look at. I think overall it's a little sloppily drafted by Lynn's team, but I mean overall, I guess team cohesion and comfort is king.
Yeah, and hey, Music X went 2 solo kills to just 1 solo kill, so I call that a victory overall.
Yeah,
Nonetheless,
certainly.
Stick stalled out that game for so long, but Lin landing some crucially huge ultimates on top of his obviously innate synergy with Teague, and they have just looked extremely, extremely good throughout this entire series.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so concerning how nasty Lynn was on that Kiana. I mean, it was just ult after ult after ult.
Yeah,
Every single objective was putrid. He just did not stop. It was
and
every
he's
single time.
already eating 2 first phase bans. How do you ban this man out?
Yeah, I mean, damn. I like trying to push into that. And then Ziggs like Control wanted to be flinging those ults, looking to try and make coin flip, get a little lucky with one of those objectives, and then every time he did it, they punished him for not having ulti, and it was nice to look at. I don't think the macro was too beautiful, but in terms of micro wise and team cohesion, I liked it.
Excellent, yeah. And Swordmaster, crucially, big shout out to him. Perfect scoreline in third in game 3, 0-0 and 13, looking quite strong moving forward. So, what do you have for our MVP of this series?
Is that I mean that's like no contest, Lynn. Like I don't even dude, I've seen enough Kiana ults here to go rock myself into a corner with fetal position. I'm gonna be banning it. What?
Yeah, I'm with you as well. I would also give it to Lin. Lin making a crucial difference in half of these team fights with the Kiana ultimates. He was definitely the difference maker. All right, give me a second, and I will pull Lin in to caster booth. All right, Lynn, how are you doing today? Some incredible Kiana performances after a little bit of a rougher game 1. How do you feel?
I'm feeling pretty good. The first game was kind of rough though. We expected the Lucian counter from Tranimo, but we should have knew their ball lane was gonna play Lulu Ka because they've been practicing lately. It's been pretty
Right.
rough.
Yeah,
First,
if you think about what the Kog'Maw did, and his damage numbers were a little bit lower, but I feel like anytime Kog'Maw's on the field, he like taunts the enemy team. It's like an MMO style taunt, and everyone's just forced to attack.
Also, I was wondering, like, how was the mental looking after game one? Were you guys like all like, oh, we're gonna get him back. Like, this is what we did wrong. This is how we're gonna do it, or like, was it kind of down in the dumps, and then through the early game lead, you kind of rose back up, or how did it look?
it was pretty depressing game one. So game two, we just picked what we were comfortable with, playing the we were flexing the Echo and me Kiana.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that personally, I thought the draft composition, I thought the controls team definitely had you guys beat. But I mean, comfort is, hey, as Toasty says, play your league, right? Make
Yeah,
it
and
work.
game three we were just running the 12-inch strat, playing the same comp.
That's excellent. Yeah. So kind of just running it back like over and over again, and like you said, but I mean, that being said, what was kind of the early comps like? It seemed like you were able to move it really effectively with Teague kind of around in the early game with this Echo Kiana, take a lot of early scuttles, take a lot of early pressure, and also look for a lot of plays bot lane.
Yeah, we all play extremely well. We play safe, smart, and focus on objectives. That was basically our game plan versus their team.
Gotcha. Yeah, and you certainly were able to shut down tactics on the Xayah and also the Jinx. Was
Yeah,
that kind of
I
part of
didn't
the game
think
plan? Go
Zaya
Botto?
was the right pick for them. Third game.
For sure. Gotcha.
Oh,
So was the game plan to kind of team up with Sword? Because in game 2, he kind of roamed mid and then he roamed
Oh
top
yeah,
mid
game
quite a
two
bit.
Sword hard smurf that game. That's the only reason I got ahead game two because Sword was roaming so much mid lane and top.
Absolutely. Yeah, he looks really good.
Yeah, what did you guys so, like, what were the comms like, when music was killing Tranimal? Was music freaking out? Was he like, "Yeah, we're doing it," or was it just like a, "Hey,
Yeah.
Tranimal's dead" type thing?
Yeah, the cons were just basically music just screaming every time he solo killed Tranimal.
I
It was
feel
pretty
that. That's
funny.
me too.
Yeah.
That is excellent. Yeah, no, I gotta say, like, your Kiana ults kind of moving into mid late game. I will 100% agree. Like Sword roaming mid in game two at least. It looks like game three he did it a little bit less, but at least game two, him roaming mid, being able to enable you to roam, really put you in a position where you had a lot of flexibility, and the onus was then on you to be able to make decisions and move into other lanes. And you certainly made it work.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Every single Kiana ult was just dastardly on those objectives. It was just 3 people, 4 people, like, oh man. That
Yeah.
was
Yeah. Kiana's not a
So
balanced champ.
that said, moving forward, we don't quite have our week 5 matchups yet, but how do you think your team is feeling in the context of the
We're feeling pretty comfortable. I think we're gonna kill it this Sunday versus Tolson's team. So yeah.
Oh, yep. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, sure. I mean, kind of looking forward to that matchup in particular. Is there a lane? Is there a composition that your team is kind of like worried about, maybe planning around?
Not really. Just gotta do what we've been doing, just playing as a team, focus on objectives. Yeah, that's
Okay,
basically it.
and it is working for sure. All right. So thank you so much for joining
Oh yeah,
us.
and shout out to Mama Knows for the buff.
Hey,
oh,
there you
that's
go.
a
That's
that's a clutch
that's
buff. We got that last time.
that's the
Yeah.
difference maker for it for you right there. Hey, we really appreciate you joining us tonight.
Yeah,
Any final
thanks for
thoughts?
having me. No, just thanks for having me.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Lynn. Great performance as usual. Sweet. So let's go ahead and start wrapping things up. 12-inch. What are your takeaways from this game, and do you have a final contender to be dealing with potentially in TCL?
Well, so the way I had them ranked, currently I had, my team first, I had front to back second, and I had Lynn's team third. I think I say learn new champions sounds bad, but if they expand their champ pool a little bit and they play it to where they have champs that can perform different things, I think especially in music side because music kind of has like one style of champ, um, they'll be really really solid. I'm very excited. I love to see competition, so I'll be excited to see them. I think we probably play in like week 5 or 6, so that'll be hype.
Fantastic. Yeah, TCL is really starting to get pretty spicy. A lot of really good performances out there to be scared of. That being said, thank you so much for joining me, 12-inch, on the color. I know this is kind of last minute. Really appreciate you stepping up. And big shout out. I know there were a few hiccups on the production end kind of moving forward tonight, but big shout out to Spirit of Fate stepping up and making sure that he is the person doing things and the responsibility. And when things go right, it's definitely going to be on him too. So really appreciate you, Spirit, on the production, and appreciate everyone for joining us tonight for our week 3 matchup between Team Dark Horse and Team Jungle Control, ultimately going 2-1 for Dark Horse. But that being said, thank you so much, everyone, once again. And we will see you on Sunday for our next match. This is the end of week 3. Thank you for joining us. See you
Hey,
guys
Jesus,
later.
everybody, have a good one.